The day before the college entrance exam, the class beauty Su Nianqing was criticized by the homeroom teacher and incited the whole class to hand in blank answer sheets to retaliate against the teacher. Wu Han, the sports committee member and the #1 admirer of the class beauty, was the first to respond and take the lead. As the academic committee member, I felt it was my responsibility to stop everyone, so I stayed up late contacting the parents of my classmates to ensure they would appear at the exam hall on time. They all achieved good scores, and their parents were very satisfied, lining up in the class group chat to thank me. But after the college entrance exam ended, the class beauty with poor grades jumped off a building. After the class beauty's memorial service, my classmates lured me to a remote reservoir, pushed me into the water, and drowned me. They said, "It's all my fault for reporting it, otherwise, if everyone had skipped the exam with the class beauty, she wouldn't have died." When I opened my eyes again, I was back to the day before the college entrance exam, the moment the class beauty said she was going to abandon the exam. "This time, I won't stop you. I'll watch you reap what you've sown and ruin your own lives. If you want to skip the exam, go ahead, but I won't skip it." With the memories of my past life's college entrance exam questions, it's like having an open book exam. Without any surprise, I ranked first in the entire province and got admitted to Tsinghua University. "Shen Yanqing, why did you betray us? Why did you ruin everything for us?" Cold water poured into my mouth and nose, my lungs burning as if set on fire. I struggled desperately, but my hands were firmly pinned down, and someone was pressing down on my back, forcing me underwater. "It's all because of you. Nianqing only jumped because of you, you traitor. Go to hell." My last conscious thought was of the blurred daylight on the water's surface and the distorted faces of those people, Wu Han, Chen Jingrui, and them. I died, pushed into the reservoir and drowned alive. Why? Because I stopped them from collectively skipping the exam, because I contacted the parents and pulled their children back from the edge of the cliff, because I helped them get into college and have a promising future. Is that why they killed me? No, they killed me because they needed a scapegoat. Su Nianqing jumped off a building, and they couldn't accept that they were the ones who drove her to it, so they needed a sinner, and I am the most suitable target. How laughable. Shen Yanqing, have been kind to others all my life, yet in the end, I died at the hands of the very person I desperately tried to save. The feeling of water flooding into my lungs was excruciating, but what hurt even more was the deep, bone-chilling despair. I closed my eyes, my body sinking deeper and deeper. I thought this was the end for me. Yanqing, Yanqing, wake up, it's the day before the college entrance exam, the last day of school, don't be late. I suddenly opened my eyes, the glaring sunlight streamed in through the window, and my mother's voice exploded outside the door. I looked down at my hands, white, intact, living hands. I picked up the phone on the bedside table. June 5, 2019, the day before the college entrance exam. I was reborn. I sat on the edge of the bed, taking several minutes to calm myself down. Messages kept popping up on the phone screen, one after another, from the class group chat. "Today's the last day of class. I'm so nervous. Everyone, do your best. Nianqing, what are you wearing today? I need to take a good look. I won't get to see it anymore. Woo-woo, it's like this again." It was the same in my previous life. Everyone was fawning over Su Nianqing, treating her like a goddess. Su Nianqing, the class beauty, looks pure and lovely, with almond-shaped eyes that always seem to shimmer with tears. She speaks softly and gently, and when she smiles, 2 shallow dimples appear at the corners of her mouth. Everyone thinks she's an angel, only I know that she is a demon disguised as an angel. In my previous life, it was her who, after being criticized by the homeroom teacher, cried pitifully and incited the entire class to skip the exam, saying she wanted to make that old woman regret it for the rest of her life. Wu Han was the first to stand up in support, and others quickly followed suit. I tried to stop them, but ended up being scolded for not understanding human relationships and lacking a sense of collective honor. That night, I stayed up all night, contacting each classmate's parents one by one, informing them that their children would be collectively absent from the exam. The next day, the parents showed up right on time at the entrance of the examination hall, dragging their children inside. Those classmates all ended up doing quite well on the exam, but Su Nianqing, although her parents brought her to school, hid in the restroom and didn't enter the examination hall. The day the results came out, she got 0 points. She broke down. In her suicide note, she wrote, "I thought we were a team, I thought we would bear it together, but you betrayed me. You all went to take the exam, only I was absent. You made me feel like a fool." She jumped off a building. At the memorial service, everyone cried very sadly. After the memorial service, Wu Han sent a message in the group chat, at 7 o'clock tonight, at the East City Reservoir, we need to discuss something. I went, and then, I never came back. When they pushed me into the water, Wu Han said, it's all because of your betrayal, otherwise everyone would have stayed with Nianqing to skip the exam. Nianqing wouldn't have felt deceived, and wouldn't have jumped off the building, just because of this, because they needed an outlet to vent their anger. They killed me. Shen Yanqing, you are truly foolish. The person you desperately tried to save ended up killing you. In this life, I will not make the same mistake again. When I walked into the classroom, everything was unfolding according to the script from my previous life. Sun Yanqing sat in the third row by the window, wearing a white dress, her long hair draped over her shoulders as she bent her head to read a book. Sunlight fell on her face, making her skin appear so pale it was almost translucent. She really looked like a painting, if I didn't know who she was. Wu Han sat behind her, craning his neck to steal glances, his gaze infatuated like a fool's. Class monitor Chen Jingrui fiddled with the projector on the podium. He was wearing a new shirt today, his hair slicked with gel. Clearly, he had dressed up with care. He liked Sun Yanqing, and the whole class knew it, but he never dared to confess, because he knew Wu Han would fight him to the death. Yanqing, my deskmate Zhou Yang patted my shoulder. Why do you look so pale? Didn't sleep well last night. It's nothing. I smiled and sat down. By the way, have you heard? Nianqing was called to the teacher's office yesterday. Probably because of cheating on the mock exam. Yeah, you said the teacher is really something. Nianqing's grades are so good, how could she possibly cheat? It must be a misunderstanding. Good grades. Sun Yanqing's grades are only considered upper middle in the class, but she knows how to manage her image. Before every exam, she says, I haven't reviewed anything, or, I'm definitely going to fail this time. And then she ends up with decent results. Everyone thinks she's so amazing and so smart. In fact, she stayed up until 2 o'clock every night, and her hair fell out in handfuls. She just never said anything about it. During the third class, the homeroom teacher, Ms. Wang, walked into the classroom. Ms. Wang was in her 40s and had been teaching for 20 years, with hair that had already turned gray. She was a very responsible teacher, but she had never really liked Sun Yanqing. Maybe it was because Sun Yanqing was too good at acting, and teacher Wang happened to be someone who didn't fall for such tricks. Sun Yanqing, teacher Wang stood on the podium, looking at Sun Yanqing. In yesterday's mock exam, your math paper and Li Xiang's paper had completely identical solutions for the major questions. How do you explain this? Here it comes, exactly this sentence. In the past life, it was precisely this sentence that triggered all the disasters. Sun Yanqing stood up, her eyes instantly turning red. Teacher Wang, I really didn't cheat. Li Xiang and I are deskmates, and we usually solve problems in similar ways, so it's normal for our thought processes to be alike. Normal. Teacher Wang took out a test paper. Look at your previous mock exam math papers. The last 3 major questions were always left blank. This time you got all of them right, and your solution steps are exactly the same as Li Xiang's. Tell me, is that normal? I've been tutoring recently, so I've improved. Tutoring? Teacher Wang sneered. After just 1 week of tutoring, you went from leaving big questions blank to getting them all correct. Sun Yanqing, I've been teaching for 20 years, and I've seen all kinds of students. Admit your mistake, and I won't report you this time. Sun Yanqing's tears began to fall. One by one, they hit the desk. Teacher Wang, I really didn't cheat. If you don't believe me, I can take the test again. The whole class looked at her, their eyes filled with sympathy. Wu Han was the first to stand up. Teacher Wang, if Nianqing says she didn't cheat, then she didn't. You can't wrong an innocent person. That's right, Nianqing works so hard every day. Isn't it normal for her to improve? Teacher Wang, you're going too far. The students all spoke up at once to defend Sun Yanqing. Teacher Wang looked furious. It's not that there's no evidence. Surveillance footage showed Sun Yanqing constantly looking at Li Xiang's test paper during the exam, and Li Xiang admitted it, but under pressure. Li Xiang retracted his statement this morning, saying, maybe I just happened to see it. Teacher Wang couldn't voice his grievances. All right, Teacher Wang collected the exam papers. Let's put this matter to rest. Be more careful during exams in the future. She turned and left the classroom. The moment the door closed, I caught sight of Teacher Wang's retreating figure and suddenly felt a pang of sorrow. She must have felt really guilty in her past life. She probably thought it was her fault for not handling the matter well, which led Su Nianqing to incite the whole class to skip the exam, but in reality, the exam boycott had nothing to do with Teacher Wang. it was all Sun Yanqing's own doing. Leave those who blindly follow the trend. After teacher Wang left, the classroom was quiet for a few seconds, then Sun Yanqing started crying, not a loud, wailing cry, but a quiet, restrained sobbing, her shoulders trembling up and down, like a wounded little animal. This was her specialty. She knew this would most effectively trigger people's protective instincts. Sure enough, Wu Han immediately rushed over from her seat and crouched beside her. Yanqing, don't cry, teacher is just like that, don't take it to heart. But I clearly didn't cheat, why would she accuse me unfairly? Sun Yanqing looked up at Wu Han with tear-filled eyes. Wu Han, tell me, am I really that terrible? Do everyone think my grades are bad, so I don't deserve to improve? No, you're not bad at all. Wu Han's face flushed with urgency. You're the best. The homeroom teacher is just jealous of you. Other classmates also gathered around. Yanqing, don't cry, we've got your back. Yeah, the homeroom teacher is really bullying you. Yanqing, you're beautiful and have excellent grades. She's just targeting you. Sun Yanqing wiped away her tears, sniffled, and forced a weak smile. Thank you, everyone. It's so good to have you all here. Then she stood up, walked to the front of the classroom, and turned around to face everyone. Classmates, I have something I want to say. The classroom fell silent. Sun Yanqing took a deep breath, her tones suddenly turning resolute. I think we can't keep enduring this humiliation anymore. It's happening. The script from the previous life, word for word. It's not the first time teacher Wang has wronged me like this. Sun Yanqing's voice trembled. Before, she said in class that I wasn't focused on studying, that I paid too much attention to my appearance, and that I damaged the class atmosphere. Today, I just want to ask everyone, what exactly did I do wrong? I just want to study hard and get into a good university. What did I do wrong? No one answered. Sun Yanqing continued, I think we should do something to let teacher Wang know that we're not easy to bully. What should we do? Wu Han immediately asked. Sun Yanqing glanced at him, a flicker of pride flashing in her eyes. It was the expression of a hunter seeing their prey take the bait. Tomorrow is the college entrance exam, Su Yanqing said. If none of us show up, teacher Wang will definitely face disciplinary action because her entire class will be absent. Then she'll understand the consequences of falsely accusing me. The classroom erupted into chaos. Missing the exam? Are you crazy? But the college entrance exam is really important. You idiot. You can't ruin your future just to get back at your teacher. Sun Yanqing's tears fell again. I'm sorry, I was too selfish. Just pretend I didn't say anything. I'll just skip the exam myself. She turned to leave. Wu Han grabbed her arm. Yanqing, don't go. I support you. He turned around and shouted to the whole class. Yanqing is right. We can't endure this anymore. If teacher Wang keeps bullying people, we should let her know the consequences. I'm the first to sign up. I'll skip the exam tomorrow. Wu Han, are you crazy? You're not going to take the college entrance exam? Someone asked. Wu Han glared. Which is more important, the university or Yanqing? Yanqing has been bullied, and if I don't do something about it, what kind of man am I? Everyone's gaze was fixed on Sun Yanqing. She lowered her head, her shoulders still trembling, but the corners of her mouth had already lifted slightly. She knew she had taken control of the situation. I support it too. Chen Jingrui suddenly spoke up. Everyone turned to look at him. Chen Jingrui was the class monitor, and his family had connections. His father worked at the Municipal Education Bureau. If he supported it, things would be different. Everyone, listen to me. Chen Jingrui stood up, cleared his throat, and said, I just sent a message to my dad. He said that in a situation where so many people are absent from the exam, the Education Bureau will definitely arrange a make-up exam. The law doesn't punish the masses. With so many people missing the exam, they can't possibly let everyone lose their chance to study. Is that true? Did your dad really say that? Of course it's true. Chen Jingrui smiled. My dad is the director of the Municipal Education Bureau's office. How could his words be false? Students who missed the exam will have a unified makeup in a few days, with the same test paper and the same admission opportunities. Nothing will be affected. The classroom erupted in excitement. What's there to be afraid of? Missing the exam is just missing the exam. Exactly. Let teacher Wang suffer a bit. I'll sign up too. I'm signing up too. Sun Yanqing stood on the podium, looking at the excited faces below, and finally smiled. That smile was sweet, pure, and harmless to both humans and animals, but in my eyes, it was the fangs of a demon. No one noticed that there was always a corner remaining silent. That was where I sat. Shen Yanqing, the academic committee member, the one with the best grades in the class. Yanqing, why aren't you saying anything? Zhou Yang nudged me. Aren't you going to participate? All eyes turned back to me. Sun Yanqing also looked at me, her gaze so tender it seemed like water could be squeezed out. Yanqing, you're the study committee member. If you join too, Teacher Wang will surely be heartbroken. Won't you help us? She sounded so pitiful, as if me not joining would be letting her down. In my past life, that's exactly how she emotionally blackmailed me. I hesitated for a long time back then, but in the end, I decided not to participate and even tried to stop them. And what happened? I was called a traitor, antisocial, and lacking a sense of collective honor. In the end, I was even killed for snitching. In this life, I won't be that foolish anymore, but I won't stop it either. I stood up, looked at Sun Yanqing, and smiled. Yanqing, how you want to handle things is your freedom. I won't interfere, but as for skipping the exam, I won't be taking part. Why? Sun Yanqing's expression froze for a moment, but quickly returned to gentleness. Yanqing, don't you trust me? It's not that I don't trust you, I said. It's just that my parents have worked hard to support my education, and I don't want to let them down. But, Sun Yanqing bit her lip, if you don't participate, Teacher Wang will say we're not united, then just consider me uncooperative. I sat down, took out my textbook, and began to review. The classroom fell silent for a few seconds. Sun Yanqing looked at me, a hint of annoyance flashing in her eyes, but she quickly concealed it. It's fine, she smiled. Yanqing has his own considerations, and we respect him. Wu Han let out a cold laugh. Truly worthy of being the academic committee member, only thinking of yourself at critical moments. Wu Han, don't say that. Sun Yanqing tugged at his sleeve. Yanqing isn't wrong, we were just too impulsive. Her voice was gentle, but every word she said was roasting me over a fire. Yanqing isn't wrong was equivalent to Yanqing doesn't fit in. We were too impulsive was equivalent to Yanqing was too selfish. I've heard this kind of talk before in my past life, but in this life, I don't care. Think whatever you want, I've already died once, so why would I be afraid of a few words from you? The class group chat exploded just before school was about to end. Absentee roll call. 1. Sun Yanqing 2. Wu Han 3. Chen Jingrui 4. Zhou Yang. I watched as the list of absentees kept growing, finally stopping at 38 people out of a class of 45. 38 had decided to skip the exam. In my previous life, it was the same number. The remaining 7 people, including me, did not join the chain, but in my previous life, I was scolded harshly for trying to stop it. In this life, I said nothing, and no one scolded me instead. That's human nature. If you ignore them, they won't think you're selfish, but if you try to save them, they'll instead think you're meddling. I turned off my phone and started flipping through my textbook. The questions from my previous college entrance exam, I've mostly forgotten, but I still remember a few key major questions. The final math question tested the comprehensive application of derivatives and inequalities. The last physics question in the science comprehensive exam tested the double rod model in electromagnetic induction. An English composition on the topic of the impact of artificial intelligence on the future, a Chinese composition titled Talking About Bottom Lines. I took out my notebook and wrote down each of these points one by one. I don't remember everything, but the few major questions I do remember are enough to get me scores that others can't. I wouldn't dare claim to be number 1 in the province, but getting into Tsinghua or Peking University is definitely no problem. Oh right, today Wu Han said in the group chat that they're organizing a Liberator Party to celebrate not having exams. My deskmate Zhou Yang leaned over and whispered to me. I was organizing my stationery bag and looked up upon hearing this. What do you mean? It's those who skipped the exam. They're planning an all-night barbecue and KTV tonight, and they've got activities lined up for tomorrow and the day after. Zhou Yang's eyes held a hint of envy. They really know how to let go, daring to skip the college entrance exam. What else wouldn't they dare? I didn't say anything. My phone screen lit up with a message from the class group chat. Wu Han sent a voice message, his voice trembling with excitement. Brothers and sisters, tonight at 6, meet at the usual barbecue spot. My treat, all you can eat crayfish and beer. Tomorrow we'll book out a KTV. And the day after we'll pull an all-nighter gaming at the internet cafe. 3 days and nights of total freedom, followed by a series of "got it" coming, and "Wu Han is awesome." Sun Yanqing sent a shy emoji and said, "Wu Han, you're spending too much, let's split the bill." Wu Han immediately replied, "Split what? It's on me, Yanqing, just you being here is an honor." Someone else chimed in, "Wu Han, don't your parents keep an eye on you?" "Wu Han, mind your own business." I told them I was reviewing at a classmate's house, anyway. They don't know I skipped the exam. The group chat erupted in laughter. Looking at these messages, I suddenly thought of my past life. In my past life, students who skipped exams were mostly dragged to take the test by their parents, so there was no such party. But this time, it's different. I didn't notify any of their parents, so these 38 people are still dreaming of the beautiful scenario of group absence plus retake exam. They don't know that what awaits them is not a retake, but an abyss. Yanqing, are you really not going? Zhou Yang asked me. Anyway, you're not short of exams, you could go relax after the test. No thanks, I zipped up my stationery bag. I still need to review. Zhou Yang widened his eyes. The college entrance exam is tomorrow. What else do you need to review? I smiled without explaining. I didn't tell them that what I was reviewing wasn't for tomorrow's exam. It was the college entrance exam questions from my past life, but I really want to check out this party, to see how they are heading step by step toward their own destruction. Unfortunately, I still have an exam, but it doesn't matter. I can imagining Wuhan waving his hand generously at the barbecue stall. Boss, another 50 skewers of mutton. Imagine Sun Yanqing sitting in the center, surrounded by a group of guys like stars around the moon. She holds a skewer, taking small bites, a little chili powder on the corner of her mouth, and Wuhan immediately hands her a tissue. Imagine them screaming, "Love you till the end," at the KTV. Sun Yanqing orders, "Little Lucky," and the entire class of guys melts at her singing. Imagine them playing LOL in the internet cafe, 5 in a row, shouting and cheering. What a wonderful youth. If I didn't know the ending, the first day of the college entrance exam, at 7:30 in the morning, when I walked into the examination room, my phone vibrated. It was a message from the class group. Wuhan posted a photo, a table full of barbecue, grilled eggplant, grilled leeks, grilled chicken wings, grilled lamb chops, and in the center, a large bowl of bright red crayfish. Caption, "First wave, let's dig in." Below, a group of people replied, "Wait for me, I'm coming right away." Wuhan, eat slower, save some for me. Someone shared a location, Qingdong Old Brand Barbecue. I glanced at that location, east of the city, not far from the reservoir, in my previous life. That's where I died. I muted my phone, tucked it into my pocket, and walked into the examination hall. The examination hall was very quiet, with only the soft rustling of pen tips gliding across paper. I answered the questions smoothly. After finishing the Chinese composition, I glanced at my watch. There was still an hour left. I checked it twice and handed in the paper early. When I walked out of the exam hall, the sun was blazing. I opened my phone, and the class group chat was already blowing up. Wuhan posted a video, a group of people in a KTV private room, with youth cultivation manual playing on the screen. Wuhan stood on the coffee table, holding a microphone and shouting, "Follow me." Left hand, right hand, a slow motion. Below, a crowd of people sang along, the footage shaky, with laughter roaring to the heavens. Sun Yanqing sat on the sofa, her hands raised above her head, clapping along to the rhythm, smiling sweetly. Chen Jingrui stood beside her, holding a wine glass. His expression complicated. It seemed like he was smiling, yet also not quite smiling. I suddenly found it somewhat interesting. Chen Jingrui, I felt something was off about him in my previous life. Is his father really from the Education Bureau? If so, why was the makeup exam always described as being coordinated and almost there, with never a definite update? If not, why would he lie? This issue, I didn't delve into it deeply in my previous life, because in my previous life, I died too early, but in this life, I have plenty of time to investigate slowly. The afternoon exam is mathematics. After finishing the exam, it was almost dark outside. There were even more messages in the group chat. Wuhan posted, "Moving on to the next spot, next stop, Nightfall KTV." The accompanying photo showed a group of people standing at the entrance of the KTV, arms around each other's shoulders, flashing peace signs. Sun Yanqing stood in the center, wearing a floral dress, smiling brightly. Someone commented, "Yanqing looks so beautiful today." Sun Yanqing replied, "Thank you, you're handsome too." Wuhan immediately responded, "When isn't Yanqing beautiful?" Another wave of flattery. Looking at these messages, a sudden thought popped into my mind. Does Sun Yanqing know the makeup exam is fake? In my past life, she jumped off a building, so I never got the chance to ask, but in this life, I can take a good look. If she knew it was fake and still incited everyone to skip the exam, then she is purely evil. If she didn't know and was tricked along with everyone else, then at least she has some innocence. But no matter what, The outcome is the same. She ruined the lives of these 38 people, including her own. The second day of the college entrance examination, the morning exam was on science, English exam in the afternoon. After finishing the last subject and stepping out of the exam hall, I let out a long sigh of relief. It's over, whether I did well or not. It's all over, but for me. The exam was never the focus is what comes next. I opened my phone, and the messages in the class group chat were already too many to scroll through. Wuhan live-streamed for an hour last night, showing them playing games together at an internet cafe, 5 people sitting together. Wuhan plays ADC, Chen Jingrui plays support, and the others each have their own roles. Sun Yanqing doesn't know how to play games, so she sits next to Wuhan and watches him play, occasionally handing him a bottle of water. Wuhan shouts in the video, "Yanqing handed me water, do you have any? You don't." The comments below are all, "Wuhan, enough already," and, "Showing off love leads to a quick breakup." Wuhan replied, "What's there to split? Qingnian and I are innocent." Su Qingnian replied with a shy emoji. Then someone else said, "Wuhan, stop pretending, you like Qingnian, everyone can see it." Wuhan replied, "So what if I like her? Is that not allowed?" Sun Yanqing didn't reply again. I scrolled through the group messages and found that there were already hundreds of messages since last night. They were still playing. Today was the final day of the college entrance exam, but instead of calming down, they went even crazier. Someone in the group said, "I heard the college entrance exam is over, should we celebrate?" Wuhan said, "Celebrate what? We still have to take the makeup exams, we can celebrate after that." Chen Jingrui said, "Don't worry about the makeup exams. My dad said the process is already underway, and we'll have news soon." Someone asked, "How soon is soon?" Chen Jingrui said, "About a week." The group chat erupted in cheers. "Then we can relax and have fun." Chen Jingrui, "You're awesome, your dad is awesome, come on, keep drinking." I looked at these messages, a slight smile curling at the corner of my mouth. Makeup exam, I'm curious, what would their reaction be if they knew the makeup exam would never come? The first day after the college entrance exam ended, at 8 in the morning, someone in the group chat sent a message. "My parents seem to have noticed I was absent from the exam. Last night they asked me how it went, and I said it was okay, so they didn't ask anymore." That was close. Me too. My mom asked me if the math was difficult, and I said no, so she believed me. "Are you guys okay? My mom wants to check my grades." I said they haven't come out yet. She asked when they will be ready. "You guys think, will the retake results come out together with the regular college entrance exam results?" Chen Jingrui replied, "Probably, let me ask my dad." 10 minutes later, Chen Jingrui replied, "My dad said it might be a bit later, but they will definitely be there." "All right, then we'll just wait. Anyway, there's a makeup exam, so no worries. Come on, want to go swimming today? The weather is so hot, let's go." The third day after the college entrance exam ended, some people started panicking in the group. My cousin works at the Provincial Department of Education. I secretly asked him, and he said he'd never heard of any makeup exam arrangements. Chen Jingrui, "Did your dad actually get it clear?" Chen Jingrui replied, Yes, my dad said it's currently under approval." "Everyone, don't panic. Did your dad mention a specific time?" "Next week, probably, we should have news by then." The fifth day after the college entrance exams ended, my dad went to the education bureau to ask, and they said there's no such thing as a makeup exam. Chen Jingrui, "What on earth are you up to?" Chen Jingrui was silent for a long time, then sent a message, "Let me ask my dad, be right back." After this message, Chen Jingrui disappeared for 3 hours. 3 hours later, he returned. "My dad said the makeup exam might not be decided until after the college entrance exam results are out, so everyone should wait a little longer." "Wait again? Until when?" "I can't wait any longer. My parents ask me about my grades every day. I'm going crazy." Sun Yanqing sent a voice message, her voice gentle yet firm. "Everyone, don't panic. Jingrui's dad is already helping. We need to trust him and hold on for a few more days." Someone replied, "Yanqing, it's not that we don't believe Jingrui, it's that we don't believe his dad. Is his dad really a leader at the education bureau?" Chen Jingrui didn't reply to this question. The seventh day after the college entrance exam ended, that was the day Chen Jingrui had referred to as, around a week, the group chat exploded. "My uncle works at the education bureau, and he said there's absolutely no makeup exam scheduled this year. Stop waiting." "What? That's impossible. Where's Chen Jingrui? Chen Jingrui, come out." Chen Jingrui didn't show up. Sun Yanqing sent a message, Jingrui might be busy, everyone don't panic, I'll call him." 10 minutes later, Sun Yanqing replied. Jingrui said his dad is in a meeting and will reply later. Meeting, always a meeting, can't you give a definite answer? I don't care anymore. I'm going to the Education Bureau to ask for clarification. At 3 p.m., someone sent a message. I've asked. The Provincial Department of Education said there will be no make-up exams for the college entrance examination this year. Absent candidates will receive a score of 0. The group fell into a deathly silence. Then, a flood of messages poured